Okay guys, let's get into it. If you saw my first video, I said I wanted to wrestle with the idea of forgiveness and unforgiveness. On the mental health side, can you choose not to forgive somebody and still heal? I want to wrestle with that because now on the one hand, you have a lot of people who are saying, I shouldn't have to forgive someone who hurt me so bad. And I guess if I was having that conversation with somebody, I would first validate the fact that yes, what happened to you, what was done to you was that bad. It did hurt you. It did cause damage. And some of that damage may have cost a lot for you in your life. Because unfortunately, people will hurt us and then we have to pay the price to heal. They're not going to hurt us and then they turn around and pay for our therapy, or they come, and have to walk through the healing process with us. We're hurt by people and essentially we have to do the work. We have to pay the price to heal. And so many people choose in the midst of that to say, no, I don't want to forgive that person. It cost me too much. They hurt me too much. And I also think the definition of forgiveness comes into play. So we have to ask ourselves, if I forgive a person, does that mean that they are no longer wrong, or that what they did to me wasn't wrong? Does forgiveness mean that? What is forgiveness? When I talk about forgiveness from that perspective, or when I define it, I always say, well, what is a loan forgiveness? We all want our student loans forgiven. I know I do. I don't know about y'all. I want my student loans forgiven. I'm going to go on record saying that. But when your student loans are forgiven, it doesn't mean that you did not owe. And it doesn't mean that that debt wasn't yours. It just means that the company decides that you no longer owe them. That they're no longer going to hold that debt against you. So when I talk about forgiveness, I talk about it from that perspective. You're not saying that they didn't hurt you. You're not saying that what they did wasn't hurtful and it didn't cause damage. But what you're saying is, I'm not going to live holding a debt waiting for you to pay me. I'm no longer going to keep that debt. I'm going to even that score and you no longer owe me anything. Whether you pay or not, I'm not sitting here waiting for you to pay. I'm not sending you monthly bills. I'm not sending you monthly payment reminders. I'm going to choose not to hold that wrong against you anymore. Or I'm not going to live my life waiting for you to pay me back. Okay? So from that perspective of forgiveness. Now, when I look at Webster, it actually defines forgiveness as choosing not to hold resentment. That's one of the definitions. So going back to our question, can you choose not to forgive somebody and still heal? Unfortunately, I don't believe you can. I believe that if you choose not to forgive somebody, you may cause a stumbling block or a barrier in your healing process. And also, we have to consider the feelings that are at play when we make a decision not to forgive somebody. And it's usually not from a settled, peaceful place. Usually our decision not to forgive, and I speak more from my own perspective of what I've experienced as opposed to speaking on your behalf. So y'all can tell me in the comments if you have different ideas about it. But usually when we say that we don't forgive somebody and when we choose not to forgive, most times it's from a place of still having some anger there. So I do feel like you do have to resolve feelings of anger, bitterness, and resentment before you can forgive. Some people are like, I forgive you, and then they still feel all the icky stuff. I don't agree with that either. Don't forgive somebody just to say that you forgive. But I think that laying down that debt it helps to release the connection that you and that person have had based on what was done to you. I believe that you cut the tie that exists between you and that person, which means I have no more reason to be connected to you because I'm not expecting anything from you anymore. So that's my story, sticking to it. And I would love to hear what you guys think about that. Do you believe that you can still fully heal without forgiving a person who hurt you? Or forgiving at all, because let's not lock this in to just one person hurt you. Sometimes we are trying to heal and there may be several people that we haven't forgiven. So we're holding debt for a whole group of people. And I'm just wondering if a person's heart, soul, mind, and body can truly be at peace and can truly achieve a place of healing without letting that go. All right, y'all tell me in the comments.